Apart from being an absolutely bloody hopeless welder, the other thing Craig wasn't very good at was acetylene bottles. There were no just half on or half off with Craig. Whenever I had bottles, both oxygen and gas turned full up. You could hear them half a mile away. It was like similar to force coming out at bottom at space shuttle with great flame coming out. Anyway, this particular day you had them halfway up yard and you were cutting something up, weren't you, Craig?
Yeah, we'd bought some vehicles from a firm that packed up in Easingwell, multi-drive, and we're cutting them up for parts. And I'm cutting something up at the back of the cab. Can't remember what it was, but it was upside at diesel tank. As far as I'm aware, there were no diesel in tank. Anyway, it turns out there must have been a little bit of diesel in tank. And where I'd been cutting, it had warmed tank up and turned it into vapour. And the bloody thing exploded. And it set me jacket on fire. And my hair at back, and actually on fire. There were a big boom, a big bloody bang.
I could hear it in the workshop. I heard it and I looked up.
I took bloody torch up floor, and that was still blowing gas out.
It was shaking about on floor with power and gas wanted. So I looked up and as Craigie shouted. So I dropped what I was doing. I ran up yard. I just grabbed on of him. There were some deep puddles in yard, weren't there? I grabbed on of him and I just pushed him under this mucky puddle in yard.
You didn't push me under it. You pushed me face it. Then you turned me over to get me back of my head and everything.
And I put my foot on you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just to make sure you were fully extinguished, so to speak. Yeah. Anyway, I rolled him in this muddy water.
I think he enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it. I overdid it, I think, a bit, didn't I? Just thought I held you under far more than what required. Anyway, when Crane stood up, he just looked. His hair were all burnt off here, and I just looked, and there were all this.
It were on fire at the back of me neck, though, my neck.
There were all this black, muddy water running down his face. You looked like a rat, didn't you, coming out at dyke?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Ended up at again casualty A&E at Selby. Where they asked me what you been doing. I said, well, I've just got slight burns really. My neck was sore as hell, and that my face was red. She says, is your face always this red? I says, well, it's red, but maybe not as red as it is today.
It is quite red.
But anyway, we got some cream and got it sorted out.
But I remember him coming back into yard next day. He looked like he'd been in Benidorm for two weeks with no sun cream, and he were in a very, very bad mood, wasn't you?
It were a near miss. It could have turned out worse, couldn't it?
Well, I literally.
I feel very lucky, really, for some scrapes.
You're lucky I was there, Craig. I saved your life.
Literally.
All right, that's another one for Craig.